This topic, let's look at provisioning environments. And one of the challenges with database development is that we're constantly having to provision new databases, and we can have large resource requirements to do so. Certainly we can have the same challenges if we have to build other resources in development like messaging queues and email systems and other sorts of platforms. And often these environments, though, are easily mocked or stubbed out for developers because they can just assume that they'll get certain reaction and build some sort of mock or stub for their testing or for their evaluation. But that isn't always the case with a database. Often a database requires some sort of full provisioning platform to exist to truly test our software. The scale and variety of queries that an application will make of a database kind of preclude using just simple mocks, or at least being able to do it in a reasonable amount of time because you need so many. The developer usually wants a real database, and preferably they want their own database, which can really be a resource challenge for many organizations. It's especially true when we add in all the branches that may be in use, because then we have storage requirements, we have time requirements. Provisioning database environments is a real challenge. Now for databases, again, it's not often enough just to create a database in a schema because that can be very small. One of the challenges in the provisioning process is that we usually need data to be effective in our development or in our testing. And of course, data has to occur at the end of the process. It has to be added to the system after we've already built all the schema, but maybe not the complete end because we may have to manipulate that data as well. So our provisioning process needs to create a resource, a database, deploy code from version control system, come back, add data, and then finally maybe do some other work once we've got the initial set of data there. This is an area where DevOps and automation are key to trying to ensure a smooth, efficient, consistent software development environment for all of our developers and all of our test systems. It's especially important to ensure that all our configuration settings are the same between environments. There's been no shortage of issues because we find a driver or a setting or something else is different between production and development. And we never know about it until we actually deploy the software and it fails. When provisioning, operations really should be a large part of this process. They should really be involved, just like it says, Dev and Ops. This is the place where Ops becomes involved to ensure that every database environment looks and acts the same. It appears the same, no matter what size or scale, what hardware is used, and which environment we're using. We want to have an automated way to deploy consistent environments because it means that not only are we ensuring that our production systems look like test and dev, but in a DR situation, we're confident we can rebuild our production server. One of the tenets of DevOps is that we don't want to have pets, we want cattle. We don't want specific servers we've lovingly crafted and we're careful with and we know everything about them. We want our resources to be fairly generic so that I can replace them as needed. When we're provisioning our test environments, especially our performance test servers, we really want to prove this is the case. We want them to be exactly like production or as close as possible. And certainly want them to be close enough that if we had a DR situation, we could use the same process to create another environment.